Morning everyone, welcome to another Compliance Over Coffee on this where the sun is trying to shine but it is really cold, so hence apologies for the really thick old jumper, but I'm freezing this morning and I've got my hands wrapped around my coffee cup. So this morning's topic is about why do sources have to do or duplicate what others are already doing. And as you can imagine, I have tons of calls in a week. Good morning everyone, how are you? Good morning Dan. So on these calls, for those that know a little bit about what they're doing or what they're supposed to be doing, i.e. all the checks, the due diligence, ID verification, etc., etc., a lot of the comments are, why do we have to do that? Solicitors are going to do it. Finance providers are going to do it. If we're through the estate agents are going to do it. So why do sourcing agents have to do this? Well, for one, we stand shoulder to shoulder with the high street estate agents. Estate agents have to do it. Sourcing agents have to do it. Our contracted clients are different from sourcing agents in the main. The high street estate agent's contracted client is the seller. Our contracted client usually is the buyer. And the contracted client is the person who is paying for your fees. Why have we been slapped on the front line and do we have to do all of this due diligence? Because of the level of money laundering in the UK. It's estimated to be 100 billion plus a year. It's a huge ton of money that comes into the UK to be cleaned from unscrupulous sources. And a lot of people think, well, so what? Well, money laundering has victims. It has child sex abuse, it has adult sex abuse, it has drugs, it has terrorism. Any dodgy dealing that you can think of, they have to launder the money to get it clean to be able to use it in whatever else they want to go on and use it for. So, property is one of the key aspects that dodgy dealers launder money through, because it's a great way, morning Alan, it's a great way of laundering large chunks of money pretty quickly. So we have to do it, one, well, because it's law, but two, because we've been put on the front line to help the fight. And the fight is to stop money being laundered in the UK and stop people tax evading, because that's what HMRC expects us to also be looking for. Because all it takes to get a dodgy deal over the line is someone with cash to buy it and a solicitor in their pocket that's prepared to get it over the line. So they want the agents on the front line, that's estate agents, lettings agents in part, and sourcing agents, to be the eyes and the ears before it ever gets to solicitors. So that's why we're on the front line, and that's why we have to do what we do, and that's why investors these days, generally speaking, if the process is working as it should be, have to provide certified copies of ID, etc., and go through checks several times. It is something that a lot of them are used to. And the only difference for them is they have to get extra copies of certified documentation and potentially go through a couple, 2 or 3 electronic due diligence checks done by the agent on the front end, their solicitor, and potentially finance provider if they're using finance through a finance broker. That is the process. That is how it is set. And it is so that maximum there are 3 levels of checks: the agent on the front, the solicitor, and the finance broker. Minimum checks will be the agent on the front and the solicitor, or if an investor is direct to the seller and uses no agent, then it is just possibly down to the solicitor. But they have us on the front line because of the level of problems that we have in the UK at the moment with money being laundered through it. So it's part of our job role to try to prevent that. So don't look at it as a burden. Look at it as a process which is helping us to overcome the money laundering in the UK, which, as I say, at the moment stands at around the 100 billion a year mark. Not all of it in property, admittedly, but a lot of it goes through property. Please don't think for one moment that money laundering is predominantly in London or that it is £1 million properties. It is not. Recently, the National Crime Agency seized a portfolio of terrace properties from a lower valued area in Liverpool, because those that were laundering money had bought these properties. They were riding the rise in the market and they were using the properties for, shall we say, unsavoury reasons in the meantime. So it isn't just high value property, it isn't just flips, they can buy and hold for a period of time as well. So you have to be on guard, you have to understand what you're doing, you have to have those risk assessments, controls and procedures in place and use them with every client, because you never know who you're talking to, what they're trying to do, and if they're trying to gauge whether you know what you're doing or not, and are you a person that they could actually potentially launder some money through, which you really don't want. So that's compliance over coffee this morning. I just wanted to mention to you, we had our first Future Proofing Your Sourcing Business webinar last Thursday, which went very well and feedback was great. We're running them monthly, and the events with the links for you to be able to reserve places are in our events section in our Facebook group. It's completely free for you to attend. The content and the talk changes each month on different topics, and if you're interested in having a particular topic covered, then you can pop a suggestion in the comment box underneath this video if you like, and we will make a note of it. So we will be doing those every month this year until and including November, but we aren't running one in December. So that's compliance over coffee this morning. I hope you've got your coffee or tea or whatever the beverage you have. Have a fabulous bank holiday weekend. I hope we get a little bit of sunshine, and I will be back with you again next Thursday, usual time, 8:30 as always. Bye for now.